How's it going, YWC? Guy on the internet who doesn't like reviews. Gonna try to get through this video without coughing up a lung. One take only, so it is what it is. TNA Impact. Let's talk about it. So, first thing up is the Brandy, Moose, and Cody segment. So, last week, Moose and Brandy had a intergender tag team match against Crazy Steve and Rosemary, where they won. Moose and Mini Moose. Anyway, so Cody has come back. Yes, I know he was in Ring of Honor. He was TNA, Ring of Honor, and now he's back to TNA. I like what Cody's doing. He's going to different companies, putting his mark on it. There's no WWE chains on him anymore, so he can do that. So he comes back, and Moose and Brandy are expecting, a thank you to Moose, for saving his wife, looking out for her. Cody sees this as Moose trying to muscle up on his woman, and he says, like, are you trying to date my wife? And Brandy's like, it's not like that. It has to be a joke. You can't be the guy I married. And eventually Cody's like, yeah, it's a joke. I was just joking. He kisses his wife, and then he goes to shake Moose's hand, and then he low blows him, and then hits the crossroads. And in a very interesting turn of events, Cody does a sign for the Bullet Club, pointing right at Moose. Now, this could mean a variety of things. This is just could be promotion, just to show you that for people who don't watch ROH or want to know what that sign is, they would look up, why is he doing it, and they will see about the Bullet Club. Or it could be that members of the Bullet Club or the Bullet Club is coming to TNA to take over. Yes, I know it's another TNA. It's a TNA. I'm doing quotations because it's not really a TNA faction, but it's a faction in TNA would be coming to TNA faction. But it's one of the most well-known and pretty much one of the most favorable factions in all of low indie wrestling. Well, yeah, ROH is kind of indie in Japan. Well, anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. But I personally think, depending on the members they bring in to help Cody with the Bullet Club, this could be a very good thing. But I also have that feeling that people are going to turn on this. I know. Bullet Club is popular, but once they go to TNA, for some reason, people will turn on them and say they're not as cool as they are, or they're not doing good wrestling. It's the typical IWC type of thing, to where they insult people for being on TNA. I don't know why, even though they changed management and all that. But anyway, only time will tell. But the Bullet Club potentially being in TNA, depending on the members, to me, could be great. So then you have Eli Drake, Tyrus, and last week I didn't watch the episode, but Tyrus called out the DCC because of what happened, where the DCC jumped Tyrus, Drake, and EC3. So he called them all out. Eli Drake wasn't cool with that. And Tyrus, he beat up all three members of the DCC, and he went to tagging Eli Drake. Eli Drake had left, and the DCC beat up Tyrus. And this is where the feud starts. So the match begins, and Eli Drake is like, look, just go back to being my guy. I'll pay you and all this. We don't have to do this or whatever, because I'm going to beat you up. Match starts a little bit. Tyrus out-muscles Eli Drake. Eli Drake gets back on the mic. Look, I'll give you more money. I just stop. Just lay down for me and let me win. Tyrus isn't going for it. Finally, the match starts, for real. And Eli Drake knocks out Earl Hebner and starts laughing. And Tyrus grabs him by the throat. He's like, look, I got you a raise, because you won the match or whatever. Like, you know how it goes. Kayfabe, if you win, you get money. Anyway, so Eli Drake's like, look, we can be friends again. I got you a raise. Just shake my hand. And Tyrus like, I'm not gonna shake your hand, but I'll give you a hug. So all is right between Eli Drake and Tyrus, which is odd, but it kind of fits into the Tyrus character because he's a guy who will be your associate as long as you pay him. So him having a moral code wouldn't make too much sense. Also, he's on Fox News, so y'all know Republicans don't have moral codes and they'll do anything for money in corporations. So it all fits into the character, doesn't it? Some stuff about a wedding or whatever. Laurel Van Ness, whatever. We'll get to that later. They have a thing where Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, they're talking about getting their next gold, their expedition of gold. Matt Hardy transports to older time where he turns into his older Egyptian self or whatever, and the dilapidated boat turns into an ark to hold all the tag team titles, and then they get transported to, I don't want to say a jobber fed, but come on, let's be honest here. And they're met by the locker room, and then some guys call the Outlaws, and the Outlaws like, we're the no more contenders. And then the locker room says, hey, the other guys have been tag team champions for 12 years. 12 years. Let the Hardys get it because obviously you guys can't beat them or something like that or whatever. Then you have Rosemary and Jade, where Jade comes out and says that the battle between her and Rosemary is far from over. She calls out Rosemary. Calls out Rosemary, and Rosemary says, look, I'm done with you. I've beaten you numerous times, and I've got to take care of the rest of the locker room. The rest of them need to be decayed. And Jade says, look, one last time, and this time will be a last knockout standing match. I'm reading the notes here. What is she giving up? You done? She's still standing. Okay, she just, nothing's on the line. It's just a last knockout standing match. I'm not sick of this because they put on good matches, but it feels like there's nothing to gain on Rosemary's side. So either this needs to end after this match, or Jay needs to win the title, which I don't win. Rosemary needs to keep title for a little bit longer, at least 2 more feuds before she drops it. Not to Gail Kim. Don't drop it to Gail Kim. Impact Wrestling, do not do Rosemary versus Gail Kim and have swear to fucking God. Then you had Bram versus Jesse Godderz, where the storyline is Jesse Godderz last week beat up a member of the DDTC. I think it was Kingston, and they tried to jump him, but instead, when the lights went out, he left. So he got one up on a member of the DCC. And this week, Jesse Godderz, and let me talk about Jesse Godderz's music. His new music it's Cesaro interesting. It's gonna have to grow on me. It's fairly different. Anyway, good match between Bram and Jesse Godderz. Jesse Godderz gets the win by putting the Adonis lock on Bram. Kingston gets on the apron. He does like a catapult thing on Bram, knocks him into Kingston, and then gets a schoolboy roll up on Bram. They try to attack Jesse Godderz. Godderz spites off the 2 members of the DCC. But the 3rd member, James Storm, doesn't come out. Whatever. Then you have the Hardys doing this thing where they show the clip of them fighting the tag team champions from the Jobber Fed. Very interesting match. Entertaining, even though it's in clips. One point in the match, Jeff Hardy kills a guy because he puts him in a large trash can and pretty much like throws him down a flight of stairs. Like, I mean, I understand the Expedition goal is serious, but when you're killing jobbers, 12-year jobbers, for the title. It, you're taking things to a whole new level of violence that I didn't know Jeff Hardy was even capable of at this age, at this moment. But they win the titles. And then I like this little thing where they were in the ring doing the delete, and then all of a sudden they get transported by Vanguard 7, and the crowd who participated in it, they're like, "What happened? What happened? Ooh, boo! Where did the Hardys go?" That was a nice touch. See right here, Hardys. Then you had Bad Bones versus Josh Barnett. Now, this was a good, interesting match because Bad Bones, he's a really tough wrestler from Germany, a tough persona. And Josh Barnett, I think 2 weeks ago, he came out and he challenged Lashley. And Josh Barnett, he's a color commentator for New Japan World, the English version, and he's a former UFC World Heavyweight Champion. And he's just automatically given this shot against Lashley for the World Heavyweight title. And at first, I'm thinking, okay, it's not going to be a gimmick match, a UFC match. It's going to be a wrestling match. Is Josh Barnett really going to have a good match against Lashley? And I'm glad they did this sort of warm-up match to show you that Josh Barnett, even though he's a UFC guy, he has legitimacy in that sport. He's can put on a fairly decent match in his own way in the ring. And I like his style. It was a mix of the UFC strikes along with traditional catch can wrestling. That powerbomb he delivered to Bad Bones. Oh my God. He just didn't give a fuck. He just picked him up and safety. What the fuck? And then picks him up, more knees, Northern Light suplex, float over, key lock. I think you're ready for Lashley, bro. This might be an entertaining match. And look, I'm gonna say it. Josh Barnett might be a UFC guy into wrestling done right. Well, we'll have to see. Then you have the S Division title match. DJZ versus Trevor Lee. One point in the match, Trevor Lee gets drop kicked, and he does this sell where he's like doing like the Michael Jackson throw. Trevor Lee sells are fucking outrageous. He's obviously doing them. He's doing too much with the sales. He's overselling. I don't know if he's trolling or he's just like, that's the way he sells. He's troll selling. But in the end, DJZ tries to go for the ZDT. Helms holds his leg, and that allows Trevor Lee to hit a roll up with the tights. Gets the win, 1, 2, 3. DJZ discouraged, punches out her Helms, as Pope says, and then Trevor Lee hits him with a devastating jumping knee to the face, and they try to go for that same spot where they put the leg, concerto on the leg, but out come the Skywalker, Andrew Everett, and he beats up Helms, and Trevor Lee also hits the shooting star press on Trevor Lee. And just think about it, like, okay, we all know Mandrew's left for NXT, which is fine, more opportunities, and you want to expand horizons. But you got to think about it. This was Mandrew's spot because he was going in that direction where he had just turned heel in TNA or Impact or whatever, and they were going to put him in this position. He left. They put it back on Trevor Lee, and now they're shifting focus to Andrew Everett, who is a very good high flyer in his own right, in the same style as Mandrews. And you can pick apples and oranges, who's the better high flyer. I know a lot of, some people will say Mandrews because he's in NXT. NXT, you're a WWE, you're a better wrestler. But that's whatever. It just shows you how things can work out for people just because of other people doing other situations. So I'm interested to see how they push Andrew Everett and his face turn, how he's going to work that. So then you have the wedding, drunk Mike Bennett, obviously one of my new favorite characters in Impact Wrestling. His shoes though, those shoes are awesome. I gotta give me some gold shoes. Like Mike Bennett, that's some really cool fashion. Just you wouldn't think gold shoes would go with everything, but they literally go with every fucking thing this man wears. Gold shoes. Anyway, so the wedding comes, happens. Everybody comes out. Spud and Aaron Rex with the flowers or whatever. Allie comes out with the ring and they assault Allie because she falls. They calls her stupid. Laurel Van Ness says yes. And Braxton says, I can't marry you, Laurel, because I can't fucking stand you. And I love Allie. And then Maria says, since you don't want to marry Laurel, I'm going to fire Allie and you'll never see her. And then Allie says, I quit, which is kind of counter because we already seen it. And I hope this is the last time we see this thing where it, like, at no point in time, unless Allie turns heel, should Maria and Allie be together or with whatever. So that happens. A fight breaks out. Laurel cries with champagne. Sienna and Maria try to attack Allie. Out comes Brooke, who attacks Maria and Sienna. Robbie E, for some reason, I don't understand Robbie E. I thought Robbie E was still like in a feud with Aaron Rex. Maybe he miscued it and he like maybe back in catering, Mike Bennett ate the last slice of pizza. He was like, I gotta punch out Aaron Rex. I'm storyline person, but this motherfucker the last slice of fucking pepperoni. Or maybe it was something different, or I don't know. Maybe the last protein bar. Like maybe I'm missing something from last week. I don't know. But so Braxton Sutter, what a interesting story arc. A guy who came in with that whole, I'm here to do something with basically no character bland, and then he slowly gets a character of a honest, hardworking guy, blue collar athlete, gets involved in this storyline with his wife, and then it slowly builds into something, and then it kind of dipped in points when Allie got fired, and then she's still with Lady Spark. She rebelled against Maria, but she's still with him. It had slow points like that, but it still kept in place. Then just finally see the climax of it at the end. Look, we've obviously seen better wedding wrestling things happen, but this was fairly decent for what it was, and I guess now you're going to see Allie wrestle and also be Braxton's valet / manager, which could also in turn, when they turn heel, we see more of the cherry bomb character that she was famous for in the Indies, but hopefully we don't see that for like maybe a year or so because Allie's really over as a face. Anyway, another solid Impact. Impact, they keep consistently put on shows that you can watch, you don't feel insulted, and it's damn good wrestling in between the segments and everything. But I guess next week we're looking forward to the knockouts. Last knockout standing, Jade and Rosemary, and then also you have, I guess, the retaliation with Moose and Cody thing, and maybe some Bullet Club because they are taping the new Impacts, I think next week or this week or whatever, and also the main event, Josh Barnett versus the Destroyer, Lashley. So an entertaining Impact is looking to be on the horizon. If you watch the show, let me know what you think. Your favorite part, blah, 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 blah. Drinking from the lake of rejuvenation.